we like to call up our friend Lisa from help us sing. So.
So we hope that at some point you join us sing this song as well.
So this song is originally by Miriam Makeba and talks about touch. So in Africa, we like to dance a lot when we sing. So when I say pata pata, actually, I'll sing something else and you guys respond with pata pata. Try and say that. Say pata pata. One more time, sound really good. Pata pata. Right. Last time, let's go. Pata pata. Sakukuta satibela. Natsi pata pata. Sakukuta satibela. Iya pata pata. Sakukuta satibela. Natsi pata pata. Sakukuta satibela. Iya pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Natsi pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Iya pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Natsi pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Let's try that again with you guys. Alright. It's a bit more. Alright. One more. Say, oh, sakuga satibela. Hey, sakuga satibela. Hey, oh, sakuga satibela. Oh, sakuga satibela. So what happens? You say it. So touch. Right. And your shoulders a little bit. Oh, come on, I know it's cold. Hey. Someone on the shoulder. Someone else. Just a little bit. Just one more time. Hey, sakukuga satibela. Natsi pata pata. Sakukuga satibela. Sakukuga satibela. Natsi pata pata. Sakukuga satibela. Oh, iya mama, iya mama. Natsi pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Iya pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Natsi pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Iya pata pata. Natsi pata pata. Iya pata pata. Natsi pata pata. Iya pata pata. See if we can teach you some parts. So this side of the room, because Africa is all about community, we're gonna make it that this time. Alright? Exactly. So you guys are gonna be the touch. Touch, touch, touch. And touch, touch, touch. Alright, one more time. Touch, touch, touch. Just a little more spice. Touch, touch, touch. Keep going, keep going. Touch, touch, touch. Let's see pata pata. Yo pata pata. Let's see pata pata. Right. Yo pata pata. More. Let's see pata pata. Yo pata pata. Let's see pata pata. Yo pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Let's see pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Iya pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Let's see pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Iya pata pata. Let's see pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Iya pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Let's see pata pata. Iya mama, iya mama. Iya pata pata.
name is Matthew Nickel. I'm an Associate Vice President of Global Initiatives. And I'm just going to talk for just very briefly and introduce a few important people, and then I'll turn the microphone over. So, first of all, thank you all for coming out. It was a wonderful moment. It was a great way to start the 1 o'clock hour and have that great music. It was so gentle and beautiful. So we have some important people here. Larry Simpson was here a minute ago. I think he just stepped out, but it was great that he was here. So his support for this project has been extremely important. So we'll thank him in absentia. Thank you, Larry. We also have Ty Juana Flores, who sort of helped get the word out here. So thank you, Ty. We have some technical guys, Bert Price and Jerry Smith, who are sort of working on the project as well. Thank you, guys. We have Mary McClory and Camille Colatasti, who worked a lot on the project, as well as this event here. We want to thank them for that. And Maria Turriaga from Spain is here. Welcome. As you know, this program is sort of being helped a lot from Spain. Donna McElroy is here. She's in the house. Ron Reed is in the house. Hey, Ron. This is like, I get to say hello to everyone. But this project is a really substantial and really important one. It's our first major activity and effort on the African continent, which is a huge thing to me personally, and I think to the college in general. And so at this point, we have a new member of our community who we're going to introduce, and I'm going to turn the microphone over to Jorge Rostal now so he can introduce our new person. So here's Jorge Rostal.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good night, because I came from Spain. A little bit dizzy, I think. So, I work in Valencia. I was blessed on participating in the beginning of Valencia with Guillermo was here and Maria 6 years ago. And then I'm blessed again on representing Berkeley in this new venture in Africa. So I'm here to introduce you to the guy of the day. Okay? So someone who got a double major in 2000 in Berkeley, here in Boston, in music synthesis and contemporary writing and production. Then he moved to Jamaica, which is his homeland, and he was working in school, and he did some other live performances in Europe, Holiday on Ice, believe it or not, Jamaica and Ice, not very well related, but it worked out. And then, but it wasn't enough for him, and he came back to Berkeley in 2014 to have his master's degree in Valencia in MPI, Music Technology and Innovation. And then after that, he went back to Jamaica again, where he's leading a music school called the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, which is also talking to Berkeley for articulation and all that kind of stuff. So, and he's leading the school, he's doing TV shows, he's an incredible performer, viola and voice, and he recently accepted the position to lead the African Music Institute in Gabon. So, and he's going to give us a quick view of the project and how this partnership with Berkeley is going and what's going to be. A big applause, please, for Michael Sommer.
A voice teacher from the first semester here. So, thank you all for coming. Again, I'm Michael. You can just call me Michael. I'll go through this quickly. All right. So that's the beautiful logo right there, and this is what it's meant to look like. All right. So as you can see, the goal is to create an independent, state-of-the-art Pan-African music school modeled after Berkeley. So it's kind of like Berkeley in Africa. That's the intention. Opening September 2017. The school will be part of the Berkeley International Network. And we keep stressing it's going to be an independent school, but it's still very closely related and associated with Berkeley. Location. It's Libreville, or in English, Libreville. Libreville, Gabon. So that's the location of it. Goals. To contribute and identify and develop talented musicians and media professionals in Africa. To facilitate talented African students to continue and pursue their careers at Berkeley to strengthen Berkeley's connections to its African roots and create opportunities for Berkeley students, alumni, faculty, and staff. And I mean, I guess we'll have a question part after this, but if you want to shout a question, don't be constrained. Quickly go through what the plan is for the academic programs. So it's meant to have 6 undergrad programs and 2 master's programs. EPND, which when I did was called Music Sim. They tell me I'm dating myself if I keep using that name. So electronic music, electronic production design, film scoring, performance, songwriting, dance, and music production and engineering. And then the master's programs are media, media entertainment and communication. So the one is in media management, and the other one is in media production. So the college will have television stations and for editing suites and that kind of stuff.
Michael, these are the programs that are planned for the school in Gabon.
That's correct. So these are yeah. So they won't all roll out immediately. The plan is to have for September coming to have songwriting, performance, and EPD. No, not songwriting yet. Music production. Yeah, the music production and design. And also the master's degrees. And the plan is also that we could have students from Berkeley come and study in the summer as well. Yeah? So you get exposed to all that is, all the beauty and stuff that is to be had. And be able to cooperate and collaborate and discover new things about yourself and about the region as well. So, in January, the 3rd, is that correct? Is it 9th? Okay, so we have, the 9th, or the 13th of January. Yes, but the 9th and the 13th are still, yeah. Fine. So down Berkeley on the road, they'll be coming to Gabon to give a week of workshops. So that's very exciting. We've had a lot of really awesome responses to that. And so it's shaping up. We'll be having some meetings surrounding that this week. And we're hoping to have another one in April, but we'll find out the date for that soon. Let's have a look at what the campus is shaping up to look like. Really, what the building was it was going to be a shopping mall. It was abandoned and it's been repurposed for this wonderful institution. So I can point out some of this. These will be the dorms, or about 300 people. A restaurant. There's a performance area here, a theater, and there's an outdoor performance area. These are studios in the middle, and you'll see more of that, classrooms and offices, and that kind of stuff, yeah? Again, this is where the location. Okay, this is one of the plans. So this circular bit is where the studios are planned to be. The three sound stages, and was it 8? 8 production suites, as well as 2 dance studios, technology labs, television production suites. This is an amphitheater, theater, classrooms, practice rooms, library here, restaurants. Yeah. I'm going very quickly, I know. So that's one of the dance studios. That's what the theater should look like. These are some pictures from the construction going on. And that might be it. Yeah. So thank you again. And we can either send this to you, or we can get these emails to you. So if you have questions, you can send it to either myself or to Jorge. But if you have questions now, feel free.
Will the curriculum be similar to what is here? Will
Yes. So the curriculum has basically been written based on the Berkeley curriculum. So it would be easy for someone to start the program there and finish it here, or to start here and finish it there. So that's the plan. Yes.
What do you mean by integrate and depend on Berkeley curriculum? So it's not the same Berkeley curriculum.
It is the same Berkeley curriculum. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And for people who might not know, we have a number of schools that we call articulation schools. So schools mostly in other countries where students can start at those schools, and then we have really close curriculum alignment with them, and then those students can transfer here. So we have some schools like this really all around the world, some in Europe, some in Asia. But it's the first time we're going to have one in Africa. So, and it's actually the first time where the school did not exist until it articulated with it. So it's sort of being made and articulating at the same time. So the idea is that students could take their music core classes at this school and then could come transfer here for do their major work and other kinds of work. And it will not only have music but also dance and theater. So I'm going to just share that piece of information. It will be part of that curriculum school.
Yeah, and also related to that, and what Camille is saying, that these schools with which we have an articulation agreement, this is another relation. I mean, Berkeley is participating into that development. So it's a team of people in Berkeley helping and advising this school to succeed. You know, starting this from scratch is really difficult. So there's a team, and many of those are here. Bert Price, Jerry Smith, Anthony Cole, Guillermo, Camille, Platos, the other there. Forget anyone. Carl Beatty.
Is there any aspect of television production in any of our partners? This is a singularly different than anything else we've ever done.
Yeah, for TV, Berkeley is not supporting that part. I mean, we are helping to make some connections, but we are trying to get an agreement with other U.S. universities in order to get the same thing we have in Berkeley for the music or the TV. The thing is that this is so big in Africa. I mean, this is something so new and so important that there are a lot of relations. So there's already a relation with EDAN. It's a big TV station in Africa that is working in the French-speaking countries, and there's already an agreement to do marketing and also to do music contests also with them, in which Michael has experience as well. And then, there is a very strong presence of the French television, Canal Plus, through the Vivendi group, with Universal Music. And all that, is going to be very helpful to get those things worked out for TV production. You know what? Why this TV or media production is because, the digital television is being developed in the country right now, in many countries of Africa, as far as we've heard. So it's a huge demand of professionals in TV production, management, but mostly production.
I'm wondering if we could speak a little bit about Berkeley's global initiatives and how Africa fits in and how Gabon is part of that, sort of just to give it a little context.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, as you know, Berkeley has a number of. Do you think I should use the microphone? Yeah. I'm getting the gesture from the media guy. I guess so. It gets recorded on the video or something like that. So, Berkeley has a number of initiatives, and one of the things that we really want to do is to make coming to Berkeley, first of all, to make it as affordable as possible. So part of that initiative is to have a number of campuses all over the world, as Camille talked, that we call them articulating partners. It's a little bit easier to think of them as credit transfer partners. And what that allows students to do is do 2 years at a school in Brazil or in Canada or in Bogota or in Paris or wherever it might be. Cleveland, we've got them up in Toronto. They can do 2 years there at a greatly reduced cost, and then they can transfer the entire first 2 years of their core to Berkeley and then do 2 years at Berkeley to finish up. And so that's partly to make the music more, the education more affordable, and it's also partly to just have a greater presence in the world and to bring students that otherwise might be able to come to Berkeley for 4 years, for them to have the Berkeley experience. So along with that experience, we also have the online stuff, we have the MOOCs that are now available. We're looking to develop those in languages other than the English so that it can be spread more broadly. So we see this opportunity in Africa is really, really important because it will bring students, hopefully Pan-Africa, from all over Africa to Gabon, and they'll be able to study, even if they don't want to go to Berkeley eventually, they'll be able to study the Berkeley curriculum. And those that do choose to continue on, after 2 years there, they'll be able to transfer their credits and then come to Berkeley. And part of that is for the credit transfer, but the other part of it is just to make them better prepared for Berkeley so that they know exactly what the curriculum is like, they know the teaching methods. We'll have a lot of exchanges of students and faculty there, so they'll know the faculty, they'll know what it's like to go to Berkeley, they'll know the core curriculum, and hopefully then when these musicians come to the United States, they will have a better chance of having a good experience and succeeding. So as we look at the world, there's a number of places where we don't have a great, strong presence. And those are the places kind of where we're putting our emphasis now. One is China. I just got back last night from 2 weeks in China, so we're trying to sort of figure out China. We sort of have South America figured out, but we're still working extensively in South America. And that's one of the places where we're also trying to have more credit transfer partners. We're looking to get some of our materials in Spanish so that students can study in Spanish and then also be learning in English and then come to Berkeley. We have Kurt Valadares is here. He's the executive director of the Berkeley India Exchange Program. So we're looking to expand into India. India is a little bit easier for us because, as you know, there's a lot of English-speaking people in India, so it's not quite as difficult as China. China has there's a language barrier issue there that is significant that we have to overcome. So we have China, India, South America, and I'm so happy that now we have a realistic way to kind of approach our outreach in Africa. So that's kind of in a nutshell, sort of an overview. I hope it wasn't too boring, but that's kind of an overview of what we're trying to do with our global initiatives.
Can I add two other things? Thank you.
One, I believe, and you can correct me, that this is tuition-free for the students who participate in these programs?
Yeah, well, this is a mix.
Okay.
Yeah, Gabon, the Gabon government is, this is a public school, and we are partnering with the government of Gabon, and then, but a foundation is running the school, so it's government, a foundation. Thank you. Yeah, and then Gabon is going to be funding a big part of the tuition of the students. But we are also working on Gabon. The president of Gabon personally is working with other countries in order to get scholarships for other countries, for students from other countries to join those programs. That's the key. That's the main thing for that. The key for that is to have a Pan-African school, a real Pan-African school, where students from many countries will come. And the president, fortunately, has very good relations with other countries, and he's working into that. Another plan is also to get to do fundraising, to try to find companies who could be funding students, tuition, through scholarships. That's another plan we have, and it's working quite well. There's a lot of interest. This is so unique that it's been quite easy to contact some either French companies that are operating there, or even American companies that have some interest in Africa. It's working quite well. So the hope is that we can fund really through scholarships a big part of those students.
And I want to also mention that there's a strong connection with Valencia here. And as you notice, we have Maria Torreaga, who's the executive director of Valencia, Jorge Rostal, who is like the CFO kind of Valencia, I guess you might call it, who's involved in the project. We have Guillermo Cisneros, who's been very involved in the Valencia project as well. We see the linkage between Valencia and Gabon, and the triangle that makes with Berkeley and Boston is a very important link. And so Valencia and its joint efforts with the Gabonese government as well as with the campus there will be really important as how the whole project rolls out.
I
just have some questions. I was curious if you could share a little bit about the timing of the different programs, and I know there's going to be some workshops happening in January, and what other activities are there where the different Berkeley communities could get involved or participating, as well as the programs that you described Could you tell us, could you share a little bit more about that?
We can do it together. It's fine. We can sing together. So yeah, as you see, there are 6 undergrad programs. Okay, we're gonna start with 4 programs. You know, the first year is gonna be core. It's 3-year undergrad program. It's a different thing. You know, it's a French Gabonese accreditation. So it's 3 years. And the master program in September 17. We'll introduce the other programs after that. Okay, it's gonna be probably 3+1. You know, we are still thinking about the dance program. We don't know how it's gonna work. Obviously, it's the first year. I mean, it's gonna be difficult to find students and the right students and make it strong. So the first year is gonna be kind of an experiment, which is normal, all right? And Berkeley is doing 2 things, and that's Berkeley on the Road, led by Matthew Nichol. We're doing 2 workshops. One workshop will happen in January 17th, from the 9th to the 13th, that's the one that Michael presented. And Elaine was here, right? Before. He was here, just left. He's the artistic director of the program. And then there's going to be another one happening in, I would say between April and June, probably July. The date's still to be defined. But this is very exciting. I mean, for this first program where the admissions is not very strong yet, and the marketing is not very strong either. I mean, the website has been just developed and published. We have students, about 125 students from 24 different countries, including people from Caribbean, France. So this is kind of very, very good. And all those are full scholarship. This is a free program for students, and the government is paying for that. And it's a big element for the promotion. It's kind of the, you know, it's for us, for Maria, Guillermo and I, it's kind of a deja vu. You know, it's something that happened in the same way in Valencia. So we are kind of copy and pasting, well, with some difference, of course. And you know, that's the main thing for the promotion of the programs, those workshops. Then after that, what we want to do is to have a very strong relation between ANI, the school, the African Music Institute, and Berkeley, so we can facilitate naturally a huge change of people, faculty, staff, students, and also involve alumni. I mean, here's the example: we have an alumni working there, and with other, you know, students working there in the future. So we can really build a strong relation with a strong Berkeley culture in that school.
Did we have any other questions from? Yeah.
What would the relationship between the African Music Institute be with the conservatory in light of like the merger between the College of Music and the conservatory?
So her question, just to repeat for the video, is what's the relationship between AMI, African Music Institute, and Boston Conservatory? That's a good question. Have you thought about that?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
But with the specifically with the dance program, that's been that curriculum pretty much came from the Boston Conservatory. So we're going to have some more meetings this week, just to go through how that would work, because I mean certainly there's a lot of modern and classical dance that's there, but I mean this is going to be in Gabon, and we have to have African dance, and it's taught in a different way, and it means something different. It's got community things. It's a very different thing. So that has to be a part of the program if it's going to be done in Gabon. So that has to be worked out.
Can I just add, like, that's such a good question, and since this is the first articulation school that we're looking at after the institutions have merged, so it is an opportunity for us to rethink our relationships and our agreements to see if we can really make it flow both to Berkeley and to the conservatory. So to be continued. We'll have more information. Good question.
You were saying earlier that we're trying from Berkeley here to make the curriculum and people from students from Africa more familiar with what's going on here. On the other side, what we can do, or what we're doing here to make people from here familiar with what's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a really good question. What we're trying to do to make people here familiar with what's going on there. I think there has to be an exchange of that to a certain extent, and this meeting is certainly the beginning of that process as we talk about what we're going to do over there, and we try to get as many people here aware of what's happening there. we have some pretty strong, we have some people that do a lot of things in Africa already, and we have a lot of strong faculty and students from Africa. So hopefully there would be an interchange, kind of a two-way interchange. It'll be a lot more possible to be doing cool things when we have a campus and an initiative and a curriculum happening in Africa. Then I think there's going to be a natural growth of stuff. But this is, as Camille was just saying, a lot of this is, we just have to figure this stuff out as it goes. Kind of the way Valencia sort of happened. There's a lot of it that just sort of grew organically, and it's a real opportunity for people who are interested and have questions and concerns and ideas about this to participate. Because as we see, Valencia has grown to be an extremely successful thing that's sort of different from what we thought it might be, but still totally happening. And I think we see this partnership as an opportunity to grow all these types of, these new things that might happen here at Berkeley. So if you wanted to be involved, I'm sure you could be involved. So, yes. Dokunoki.
Hi everyone. Looking at Africa as a whole, where I was born and spent all my life, there's this problem of security, which is main concern for Europeans or people from other parts of the world going to Africa. Even my friend here would ask me, they want to go, but So for students, for me being here, I'm like free. I can work anytime, and even if I don't want to take the bus, I can just it's different. It's different in Africa, and also a lot of companies that go to Africa have problems with indigenous people. So if the indigenous people are not recognized, that's a huge problem. Or you have a school in this village, but the people of the village are not benefiting from it. That's going to be a huge problem. So I want to know what Berkeley have in place for this.
I think this is another thing where we really have a lot to learn. I think that, as we already saw from the elections that happened in October, there's issues surrounding the way these things grow. But I think we're going to need to take advice from our partners over there and to sort of understand the situation and make sure that we act appropriately and safely for our students. I mean, there's a lot of places we go that are on the State Department watch list as not particularly safe places. But we manage our risk very carefully. We're very aware of kind of things that are happening. For example, we go to Israel quite a bit, which is many people consider a dangerous place to go. So, but I think part of it is that we have to know how to act. We have to be intelligent. We have to understand the way you do business in Africa is different from the way you do business and act in the United States. And so part of it is going to be we have to educate ourselves. And we are going to look to people that know Africa well to help us with that. And then we have to make sure that when we take students and faculty over there, they're sensitive and intelligent, act appropriately, and know what to expect. Not an easy thing to do, it's not an easy situation, but I think the college has made a real commitment to be in Africa, and that means we're going to have to understand these things and be able to solve those issues. That's a good question. Yes?
Yeah. Yes, just would you like to add something? The things that, we are just, being Gabon is not casual. Gabon has, it's a kind of safe country in the area, it's the safest country in the area. It's true that, during the last couple of months, during August and September, there were riots because of the elections and all that. It's true, that happens, and that happens. But, I've been there many times. I have experience being in Africa for a long time, but, it's for the benefit of Gabon, it's one of the safest countries in the Central Africa area. Of course, in Libreville, like in Boston, you cannot go to certain neighborhoods. You have to know that, obviously. And also, this country has had very strong relation with the U.S. Indeed, the embassy of the U.S., who is serving to other 6 countries, is the building next to the campus. It's like there, like 10 meters away. And it's a very nice neighborhood. And also, what is important to understand is that this campus or this school is being shaped, you know, in the way Berkeley works. So we're gonna give them advice in Title IX, security, how to make sure students are safe, health insurance. So it's a well-controlled area in a safe country.
Just like to add as well, even though it's a well-controlled area, the plan is not to have it be an area unto itself, separate from the community. The plan is, like on the weekends, to open up the dance studios. If someone has a dance company or a group and they need a rehearsal space, and they can use it. I personally would love to see a lot of traditional content in the curriculum, whether it's for electives or whatever else, with instrument making or different music from different areas, that kind of thing. So and the plan is also to do outreach to the community as well, because you can't be in the place and be by yourself. So it has to include everybody in some way.
And Michael, you're hiring mostly local people, right?
That's the
Can
plan.
you talk a little bit about
Well, I
hiring?
mean, we're still in the process of trying to meet these people, and hopefully in January when we go there, we can meet a lot of the people who are potentially can work there. So it will probably be a mix of local, regional, and some international people who will be working at the college.
Will the facility be completed in September, like you showed us?
Not everything. Not everything. The most part of the facilities, I mean, dorms will be finished, because there's going to be 200 beds in those dorms that will be finished, and the main building, restaurant, and main part of the facilities will be finished, but the studios will be finished in the beginning of 18. Okay, that's something that construction will continue during 6 months, or a little bit more after the opening of that, which is again the same thing as happening in Valencia, that we got studios, right? They constructed at the same time the school worked. But the structure of the school is well prepared for that, so it's isolated, so we can still work in the studios while we facilitate the operation of the campus at the same time.
My name is Sam. I had a question. What are you going to do to make sure that enrollment process is kind of inclusive for all countries in Africa, not just Gabon? Previous years we used to have we had one in Ghana, then I think the last one was in Kenya, then there was a blackout. And I know some students talked about that. And now that you're starting the program, will you expect for all African students to come for auditions and interviews, or are you going to go out like the battle in the road? How are you going to make sure that you're reaching all the African countries so that it's well balanced?
In the discussions we've been having, the plan is, and it's still something we're working on, is to go out actually to go to festivals, go to different countries, and try and find these people and reach out to them. And as Jorge had mentioned before, they're working on partnerships with different governments for scholarships from all around Africa for people to come to the college. So it's really not meant for only Gabon.
A similar question relating to faculty. As you're going about that search process, are you also looking at faculty from other African countries?
Definitely. And what we've started doing is trying to find alumni who people have been here who are So I mean, I know there are some people who are here with me who are from Kenya and from other places. So we've been reaching out to those people as well, and that's part of what we're doing here as well, is just trying to reach out to to get interest from people here as well. Yes.
Since the school is going to be based in Gabon, in what language will the program be?
That's a good question. and we're still knocking our heads on that one. I mean, there's one school of thought that says, okay, let's try and do it in English and in French. I just don't know how that's going to work. We still have to discuss it. For me, what I think would work is to just choose a language and then do either a French as a second language or English as a second language as you enter. So that still has to be decided.
I'll just say we wrote the curriculum in English. And we have a goal that students would be prepared to study here or in Valencia, where the language of instruction is in English upon completion.
We're just about out of time,
what can students do now to participate in this, be involved in the discussion, and get the ball rolling to create a community internationally?
I think give us your views, give us your recommendations, spread the word. You know, I think that's the most we can do right now. And also, you know, have in mind if you'd like to come and work there, you know, what would you want to do? So.
And Berkeley is very interested. I mean, Berkeley is really engaged and interested in this be a success, and this we want to have this interchange. I mean, we want this happening. So, you know, we need the contribution of everyone. It's something that has to happen naturally, and you know, and will happen, of course.
So thank you all very much.